Hey everyone, Amanda here from the Homestead Quest. Today I'm just going to show you my binder, the binder that I use to plan out my garden. I'll give you another quick tour of my garden and show you plans of what I am planning to do with it this year. I hope you were able to catch my garden tour video that I posted earlier, but I wasn't able to show you guys what my plans are for this year. I just talked about what I did last year, so we'll do that today. This is my handy dandy binder that I'm using to plan my garden this year. I didn't do this last year. So last year it was really hectic and crazy getting my garden started. This time last year, I don't even think we had soil in the beds yet. I think my husband had the beds built and I was still working on getting soil and I was collecting seeds, but I didn't have any plans for what I was doing, and a lot of things didn't necessarily go wrong, but it just kind of was just kind of crazy and hectic, and I had to move some things around. A couple things died, like I had cucumber starts that didn't make it. I had to put them, I had to direct plant them with seeds, and just, it's really helpful to have a plan and to plan things out. So, oh, this is kind of fun. So this is the original sketch that I drew of my garden, and my husband built it from this plan. And then here is another that I had, and I kind of sketched out like a rough plan last year, but it all went haywire. But yeah, this is another quick sketch I had. Oh, and I ordered organic seeds, and this was me, highlighting what I was gonna use, and that was really cool and helpful. Alright, so as you can see in pink, my daughter was practicing writing her name in those boxes. But this is just the garden plans I have for this year. I drew out kind of a glossary just that I would have a way to map out my plans. I just did, wrote out what I had last year, what's going to be rotated, what's going to change, because you also need to rotate your beds. When you grow plants, so tomatoes, when you grow tomatoes, they release nutrients into the ground, and same with cucumbers, same with potatoes. So it's good to rotate your plants so that they don't diminish the soil of nutrients, and they're also kind of gaining from the crop that you were growing the year before. And just so you know, here's more plans that I have. And also, here's more. Some of it has changed though. You also need to be really flexible when you're doing a garden, because plans change and you'll realize like, oh, this isn't gonna work here, or maybe you'll change your mind about certain things. For example, in the back corner, I was going to do just wildflowers in my bee box, and then we realized that we just weren't prepared for the bee box, and you have to have certain licensing and stuff to get bee boxes, and I would have been able to go do it, but the time was out. I think the only time to go get that done was February here, and by the time I figured that out, it was March. So we're not going to be able to put our bee box in the corner, but instead of that, which is written on my plans, I just adjusted and decided, hey, I have a lot of herbs that I want to grow this year, and I'm going to put them in that back corner because it's nice and shaded back there. So that's just one example. But yeah, if you notice that, your plans that you wrote out, although helpful, if you have a better idea, or if you change your mind, or you realize something would be better there rather than here, and you swap it out, just roll with it. Don't be too rigid. I remember last year when things weren't really going exactly in my way, I was just rigid. I didn't want to change the plans that I had. and then you realize you have to. When you're gardening and, you know, doing that kind of thing, you just have to be able to roll with the punches and ride the wave and, you know, just go in the direction that makes sense. So get a binder, plan your stuff out. And yeah, so I'll give you guys a quick tour of the garden beds and just tell you what my plans are. Let's go check it out. So if you notice these metal rods here, those are my trellises. Last year I had like a netting up there, but this year we're gonna do cattle fencing, which will be really great. But last year we did tomatoes in here, and I'm gonna rotate and do cucumbers. And then I had cucumbers in here, and I'm gonna do tomatoes. And then my carrots were in this bed, but I'm gonna put them in the end bed, which is actually a little bit bigger than the rest of them. And then I had peppers in this bed, but I'm gonna do pole beans there this year. And then in this bed, I'm going to do my peppers. Show you guys this too. My strawberries are just starting to come out. I'm so excited. That is one thing that will pop out early is strawberries. Even if it's cold outside, they do good. And here are some ever-bearing strawberries, which means that they'll produce all season long. I really need to go in there and remove the dead stuff and amend with some compost. More strawberries. Again, I need to clear out the dead stuff and amend the soil. My blueberry bush is starting to come back to life. Oh, I need to weed. It's shameful, you guys. I need to get out here and get some stuff done. I think I'm gonna get a lot of that done this week, and I'll make a video of that as well. All right, and one more thing. Do you see all the dandelions? So everybody tends to have just this knee-jerk reaction to, you know, put chemicals on their yard and kill, you know, the dandelions without realizing that, you know, the Europeans actually brought dandelions over here and when they immigrated to America, and it is actually a really nutrient dense food. Actually, a lot of people lived off of these in the Great Depression, and it's really good for the bees and the pollinators, especially for the beginning of the season. And another thing that they're good for is your chickens. If you have backyard chickens, or if you have, you know, a farm or a homestead and you have chickens, these are amazing to give them, especially with them coming out of winter. They love them. It's good, nutritious food for them. It's a fun little job that I give my daughter, you know, go and grab a basket and harvest some dandelions for the chickens, and they eat them up, and it's really, really good for them. So don't put poison on your lawn. Don't kill your dandelions. They're good. They're good for everybody. It's so pretty. All right, you guys, thanks for watching today's episode of the Homestead Quest. I hope you enjoyed just my little mini tour and plans for the garden, and that you found it helpful to just have the idea to write out a plan for your garden, just so that you can kind of row up your ducks and just be ready to go. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Amanda. Like and subscribe.